In 1901, while sitting in the Swiss Patent Office in Bern, a young clerk wondered if inertia of an object depended upon its energy content. And 5 years later, while sitting in that same office, that same man, Albert Einstein, answered his own question with a fanatical yes in the form of his famous equation E=mc². With one simple equation, Einstein changed the world forever. He showed the world a path to unleash the power of an atom. Over the next 30 years, scientists expanded upon Einstein's work and postulated its potential. But in 1939, as war engulfed the world, the U.S. amassed the greatest collection of scientists to harness the power of an atom for military purposes in the $2 billion Manhattan Project. Over 150,000 of the smartest people on Earth rushed to make the most destructive weapon in human history. The first atomic bomb was exploded at 5:30 a.m. on July 16, 1945. But the legacy of the Manhattan Project is not weapons, it is much bigger than that. From the learnings of the Manhattan Project came nuclear medicine, chemotherapy, X-rays, and radiation treatment, nuclear propulsion and submarines, environmental radiation and water purification, and nuclear energy. Nuclear energy, also called atomic energy, is the energy released from the splitting of atoms in a process called fission. When handled in a safe and systematic manner, it is the greenest, the most reliable source of energy on the planet. In the 1950s, President Eisenhower proposed his Atoms for Peace program to build nuclear power plants across the USA. And the race was on. Over the next 40 years, the USA built over 100 nuclear power plants. Today, the USA is the world's largest producer of nuclear power, accounting for more than 30% of worldwide nuclear generation of electricity. In fact, nuclear power represents 80% of all clean power the U.S. produces. Today, the nuclear industry employs over 200,000 people with very comfortable financial benefits. Some of these workers have been with nuclear for a long time. Because of this silver tsunami, there will be over 41,000 job openings in the nuclear industry by 2030. The nuclear industry is ready for a new workforce. In 2011, the National Science Foundation founded Regional Center for Nuclear Education and Training to help address the nuclear workforce needs. Our goal is to train the next generation of nuclear technicians and leaders. We are a consortium of over 100 colleges, universities, agencies, and industry partners across the nation, all focused on optimizing nuclear technician training. RCNET helps optimize nuclear training by coupling standardizing classroom curriculum and assessment with 21st century teaching strategies like hands-on labs, active learning, virtual 3D simulations, and research.
We're talking about the upcoming retirement bubble. The nuclear industry in particular are going to have a large retirement, about 35% over the next 5 years. So we need to fill those jobs as people leave. We're looking at engineering, training, operations, maintenance managers, shift supervisors. It's a whole range of positions. These are very good paying jobs and they're very defined paths. If you know what you want to do and you get into the nuclear industry, you can have a career and 30, 40 years down the road, retire.
The program has allowed me the opportunity to learn all the essential skills necessary to be a successful nuclear mechanic. After graduation, I applied to St. Lucie Nuclear Power Plant in Jensen Beach, Florida. Shortly thereafter, I was hired by Florida Power & Light. At the plant, I used the skills I've learned through the program in my everyday work. Before, I used to install hurricane shutters for about 7 years. Then I had been laid off several times due to the economy. I wanted a stable job, stable career. I happened to see the article in the newspaper for this program. Everyone out here wants to see you succeed. That's what they're out here for. They have a wealth of knowledge about this stuff. A lot of these guys have been working at a nuclear plant for 30 years.
When I entered college, I entered with my second daughter. We're both freshmen in different programs. I go to school 2 days a week from 8 to 3:30. I leave here, I go get my youngest daughter. We leave from school, we start dinner. I still have my family life. It doesn't interrupt anything.
In the nuclear industry, what I've seen over the past 33 years, I've always seen a need for people. We train them in mechanical, which incorporates pumps and valves, etc. We train them in electrical, which would incorporate large motors and breakers, and industrial electricians, and then instrument specialists who specialize in digital equipment as well as computer-driven equipment. This program is really a start-to-finish program. Really, your career within the nuclear industry is only limited by where you want to stop it.
The nuclear industry has a workforce with the average age of 50 years old. And in the next 5 years, we're expecting around 38% of that workforce to retire. Replacement of these highly specialized personnel is a dauntless challenge. Florida Power and Light Company and other industry leaders are working closely with RCNET and other educational institutions to develop this replacement workforce and to encourage qualified students to choose a career in the nuclear industry.
There will be more than 41,000 opportunities for mechanics, electricians, operators, health physics, radiation protection, environmental remediation, medicine, public safety, chemistry, and many more fields, all paying very well, all with long-term employment waiting for you. Visit www.gonuke.org to find out more.